in the mud with the dogs, and they're all rolling around together. I was just like, "Oh my gosh." It was interesting.
Great to be kids. It's just
Yeah,
great
especially
to
when
be
you're a
kids.
2-year-old. It's just he's not even 2 yet. He's already doing this. I'm like, "Okay, have fun. You're a boy. Give up."
I just sent out one more email. I'm going to wait until 10:01 and then we will jump in and get started. And I'm going to record this so we have it in our Atwood exclusive trainings library.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, well, let's get started. And more people are emailing me to get help getting logged on. And that's okay. I'll help them in between. Thank you guys for jumping on, those of you who are here. And this is a great panel discussion for any tenure in real estate, whether you're a brand new agent or you've been in real estate for 10 years and you just want to do more transactions. We have a lot of agents who have been in real estate for a long time, and maybe they want to start focusing on more than 2 to 4 transactions a year and get over that hump. I am going to turn it over to Shanda and Laura to give you an introduction of them, how long they've been in real estate, a little bit about them so you can get an idea. And these two, for the short time that they have been in real estate, have been able to jumpstart their business using some really cool and innovative methods to go from zero transactions to 8 and 10 transactions. And so hopefully this gives you guys some good insight too. But Shanda, can you introduce yourself first?
Sure. My name's Shanda Kim. I am a realtor with the Work with the Pro team out of Rochester. Drew Atwood is the lead here. I am an avid DIYer. If you listen to Dana and I were talking about projects, a Nana with 2 very active grandchildren, a dog mom, a mom of 3, and I don't know. I was priorly a teacher and a researcher, an early development specialist with Head Start. So I was the teacher that taught the teachers. And I went around the US doing that for Head Start for about 3 years.
That's so cool. And how long have you been in real estate?
2 years.
2 years in real estate.
Just on the 25th of May.
Oh, happy anniversary.
Thank you.
Laura, how about introduce yourself, please? You're on mute.
Did you want to hear me? You don't want to read my lips? I'm Laura Cunningham, and I'm with our Albert Lea office. And I started real estate in the very beginning of 2022, having background in PR, marketing, fundraising, and advertising. So, yeah. And I love it. I have 2 little boys at home, 3 and 5, and I'm kind of like Shanda too. DIY is fun. I also love flipping. I like flipping houses and helping friends and family with that too. So that's me.
Awesome. Thank you. We're going to jump right in to the very first question that we have for each of you. What is the very first thing that you did once you got your license to start growing your real estate business? And Laura, I'm going to start with you with that question. The very first thing that you did, license in hand, and you were like, okay.
Yes. So I wrote down in a notebook. I think sometimes for me, the physical exercise of writing down helps me greatly with the thought process. So I wrote down my sphere of influence, and I started with people who I'm very comfortable with, who I'm very close with, and branched out from there to try and get a really large list. That way I had friends and family, and I also had community members who I knew were either renting or knew a little bit about their situation that I knew they would be in my target audience.
And what did you write down about them? Like, what information did you gather? I love that you did this because everyone should start with their sphere of influence, right? Like that's a great
Yeah.
place to start. What info did you gather?
So info I gathered, if I knew where they lived, I would put down either if I knew like the street or the area, I would put that down. If I had their phone number, I would just do, yes, I have their phone number. And so that I knew I had it in my phone. A lot of them I had to double check and make sure. And then also if I was connected with them on social media or if I had their email address.
Perfect. All the things you need to start marketing to them.
Right.
Shanda, how about you? What was the first thing you did?
I did a lot of research and got a coach. I researched things like, because that's my background, I always go into with everything like with lists and webs. I learned techniques on the best way to start, how to be successful, what platforms I wanted to do, and also research why people fail to try to make sure I don't do those things, because that's a big thing. You could be told how to succeed all day long, but unless you learn what happens when you do the wrong things, you're not going to avoid them. So
Yeah.
you gotta also look at why people fail and try to avoid those things. I did a lot of little Zoom classes. Things were offered online, little talks, hour-long blogs, stuff like that, and it really did help. And my coach actually encouraged me to do that because you learn by listening to other people. And if they're a talker with their hands like me, I really, really, really get into it. For some reason, the Italian in me comes out with that. So I really did a lot of research. I got a coach, and I still go with her monthly with the group.
Let me ask you about the coach. I love that that you said you do research too, because of course you're a DIYer, so you're going to do research. That just seems
And I'm
to go
always,
hand in hand.
yes.
But when you decided to get a coach, what was your primary reason for that?
I needed to find my niche. I needed to figure out what makes me unique, how to really do real estate, and I had to learn how to have a conversation without being scared. And I should have been really comfortable with it because I was a teacher and a server. I do fine dining. Everything should be really comfortable. But this is a whole new genre, so I was really uncomfortable. So she taught me how to have a conversation and not be a weirdo and be on edge and just be me.
That's great. For anybody who's listening and wants to know, coaching is also a great way to have accountability. And you can have an accountability partner instead of getting a coach. Shanda got a coach. I've had a coach before. I also have an accountability partner. And Century 21 University offers agent coaching as well. So look that up and take advantage of that. Next question to you, Shanda. How did you expand on the first thing you did and create your unique marketing mix? So what was that one thing? You got a coach, you did some research, and then how did you expand on that to start driving your business?
So I did a lot of social media just at the beginning because people were like, do social media, do social media. I'm like, I like to be a dork. Okay, I'll go do social media. So I was like, oh, I could be a goofball and have fun with this. So I did that. And then just like I did more research and it's showings with Drew to kind of learn everything. I learned the Magical Unicorn tool was the digital measuring tool that is your friend and a little flashlight. And then I also do a lot of community events. I actually sponsor a lot of events, and on top of being hands-on, I'm doing movie in the park for a family engagement event for the whole community where I live and surrounding area, one Friday a month for the whole summer, and I've been invited to do that for 2 years on holidays as well.
Awesome. Laura, what did you do? The one thing.
Right. So I shadowed Craig in our office, and that helped me get comfortable with some of the forms and the paperwork, the process of getting a listing, the process of scheduling showings. I did all that initially with Craig, and even co-listed a couple of things with him where we worked together on the entire process, and it was very valuable. I agree with Shanda that yes, you've got to do community events. I spoke at a Rotary Club and gave out cards to everyone and just let them know if they had friends, neighbors, relatives hang on to the card. And if anyone ever mentions even just wanting to go look at a place or wondering what their home is worth, to give them my card. And that is the other thing that I made sure I did with all of those clients that I worked with initially. I gave everyone 2 cards. I gave my mom a holder for business cards, and she kept my business cards in her purse so that if ever someone in passing mentions that they're thinking of selling, or, oh, there's a home that just came on the market, let those people be your voice as well. Let them share a card. So
I
asking
love
for
that you
referral.
both said that you shadowed somebody in your office, that you went on buyer's tours and listing appointments, because how are you going to know what to say when you have to do it on your own? Shadowing that other person is huge. Both of you are big on social media, and both of you are very involved in the community, and that just helps that organic growth. So that's great. Thank you. Going back to that, maybe digging in a little bit deeper. A lot of both of your initial business came from referrals. You just said you shared your business cards, Laura. Shanda got very involved in the community. How did you get those referrals for your initial business? Because you didn't have any business yet to get referrals from the business. So how did you make that initial business, those initial referrals happen? Laura, can you take that one first?
Yes. So I started with people who I was comfortable with, people I knew relatively well, that I knew that they would give me some grace as far as getting started. And I offered everybody no pressure showings. So, I wasn't in the beginning asking people if they were pre-qualified, if they had a lender. I was just literally going out and trying to get ground under my feet and showing people whatever they wanted to see. So that was a really great way to do it. And then from there, that was another opportunity to give those folks business cards and launch, kind of launch the start of the business. And I had friends who we went to look at things and they weren't necessarily in the market, but we ended up making offers. And so that was a very good tool, a very good resource for, getting everything accomplished, figuring out home valuation tools, utilizing all the tools that C21 offers. And I also made sure that I always shared our office's listings, because in the beginning, you don't have a ton of your own listings, but share your office's listings, tote them up, tell them how great they are, and get showings that way.
I love that you just went basically house hunting with your friends and family to get a feel for what it would be like to take buyers on showings. What a great idea. I love that. Shanda, how about you?
I joined a team. I joined the Work with the Pro team, which actually supplied the leads. Drew walked me through and helped me work through a lot of it. And a lot of social media. Like, I talk about the questions people come up with and what they're asking. Not just as a realtor, also I go on as a grandma. I share my oopses and my what is my grandchild doing? Somebody help me, because not even I know this, which happens a lot. Or the dogs. And I've grew my sphere of influence because of videos. A lot of my leads right now are from my videos.
That's awesome.
And yeah, like the one that I just got the accepted offer with actually found me on Facebook, but was searching through Realtor. It got sent to all these other agents, which he says they were not meshing. And it came to me because of my Facebook post. He's like, "You're like, I did this. Don't do this, because this is a big ooh, no, no, no." He goes, "I like the fact you said I messed up, and you were very honest."
You are very natural and comfort. Like, your videos that you post are just easy, natural, comfortable. Like, you make it look, you're just like having a normal conversation. And it's
Yep.
not all 100% completely about real estate all the time, but it's intriguing for people, which helps them look at you as a trusted advisor. I just want to point out the two of you, two different approaches to this, right? Like, Laura, your approach is very, very organic and how you grew that. And Shanda, you joined a team where you started getting leads from that team person. Both can work. It really is up to the person depending on what they want to do. We do have a team in our company. Andrew Atwood's worked with the Pro team with Shanda's on. We've had a couple other agents internally actually join that team just to help them ramp up their business more, if that is what works for you better. and that's where you're more comfortable. So if you have questions on that, feel free to reach out. But thank you both for sharing. You mentioned, Laura, leveraging the C21 tools. I would love to know from each of you, which ones do you like to use that help you increase and promote your unique value proposition? But Brock has a quick question, which I want to go in the chat. Or Brock, just come off mute.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you wanted me to post it in chat or just raise my hand. So when you're joining a team initially, how do you bring value to that team to make it, worthwhile for everybody else? Because I mean, you can't just be like, yeah, mentor me and it's gonna be all great and I promise I'm gonna bring you some value. I mean, what are some things that you did to show value to that team to get them to recruit you initially?
I showed my knowledge. I have a lot of knowledge when it comes to construction. My grandfather was a flipper before flipper was a thing. Like Laura does, he would go in and help people rebuild after fires, fix their houses, flip rooms, whatever. So I knew how to frame, run wiring, run plumbing, hang drywall. So when it's not done right, I can tell by looking at it. I'm like, this is a big, I would say it's going to be a project. Or I'd be like, okay, this is done right, And also, I really went online and looked me up and saw that I already did a lot of videos about, working on my house because I'm restoring a Victorian home and things I do. So I brought a lot of knowledge there. And then as he puts it, I brought my teacher brain in. So I'm on the, okay, I found this, let's educate everybody on this. So we all are kind of on the know. And every time I find something new, I bring it to the team, and Drew knew that would be my way of thinking.
I want to point out too, it is in the best interest of the person that's trying to build the team to have as many team members as possible, right? Because they're taking a percentage of the commission that you are getting, but in return, they are giving you leads and they are giving you that mentorship. So Brock, I think the value that you can bring to a team, and Shanda, that was great points, is just being willing to do the work. Just being willing to take the advice from that mentor, that team leader, and do the work, because that's why you're joining, to get that expertise and to get those leads of that person. If anybody wants to talk to Drew about that, feel free, I can put you in contact with him to reach out to get more insight on what that looks like. Like I said, we've had a couple agents internally that felt like they were trying it one way and it wasn't working for them to grow their real estate business, so they moved on to Drew's team. So we welcome any kind of support that we can give you guys. So back to C21 tools. Tell me, Laura, your value proposition. What do you use? What do you leverage that is broker provided by us that helps you stand above?
Yeah, so I rely very heavily on the social media that's prepared for us. I love those graphics. I usually make them my own. That tool is very helpful, so I definitely tap into that one. The other thing that is an easy button for you is the minute that you have a status change on a listing, that type of thing, you're going to get a Moxie Impress email to your other inbox. And that gives you your whole entire toolkit to share what just happened with your listing. So whether it's a brand new listing, it's coming soon, it's pending, all of those things are a great opportunity for you to send out a postcard or create a flyer if you're going to go to an event, or send out an email to your sphere of influence, use it on social media. So tap into those easy things. I also love Express Docs. I find that mailers work in my market. How do I know they work? The first one I ever sent out, I got a listing 2 weeks later, and they had my flyer and they said, we want to work with you. And I'm like, great, that's so awesome. I also know they work because my dentist told me he had my flyer hanging on his refrigerator. So, it works. It's a tool. It's something that you can definitely use. The other thing I think people maybe aren't aware of with Express Docs, you build out and customize your mailing list in that tool. And so you can choose what your budget is. You can choose streets that you are comfortable with in an area. and market specifically to those streets because you're very familiar with, proximity to different amenities. Perhaps you grew up in the area, you can speak to it. So you become an expert. I would definitely recommend utilizing ExpressDocs if you have not already. The other thing I've had success with, just 2 more things and then I'll be quiet. You need to enter people into your preferred client club. I actually have had a client who purchased a home and had a little bit of a job change and decided, you know what, I need a townhome. I don't have time for all of this maintenance. Okay, great. And that was a repeat client. I had signed him up first thing for preferred client club. So he was receiving communication from me, and he knew that when it was time to make a little change, he wanted to work with me again. So that was really, really a good tool. So preferred client club. And then the other one that if you haven't used it yet, but you get a client who buys something with you and they sell something with you, use Vacation on the House. That is an awesome program. You can buy them a vacation certificate for 7 days away at a Wyndham Resort for $279. And right now I think it's $225. So if you want to do it now. They offer you sales and specials. The minute you tap into any of these resources, you're going to get promo codes and marketing ideas right to your inbox. So go for it.
Love all of those things. I love that ExpressDocs actually does the mailer for you, and you can customize it and pick whatever you want. You don't even have to get the postcards in hand.
Nope.
And that you're using a mix of different things. And that is how you build value when you're going on listing appointments or working with buyers, because you can offer all these things that other realtors and other companies just cannot offer. We are doing an ExpressDocs training pretty soon coming up for everybody. ExpressDocs, Matt Irvin is going to host that training for us. So if you've never tapped into it, I sent out that registration last week too. So register for that one. It'll walk you through multiple different things that you can use ExpressDocs for. And we're even uploading some specific postcards that don't have to be targeted towards a listing, but can be
Right.
targeted towards you to promote yourself, retirements, expired listing kit. We're going to upload those all to ExpressDocs so you can use them. Thank you, Laura. Shanda, your value proposition.
Well, I did start looking at ExpressDocs. Thank you, Laura, because you really got me interested in that. So we are a global company, and we really got to use that to our advantage. So I use the information video from the C2 Online where the agents talk about our global reach, especially with sellers and everything. Because I'm like, we're not just gonna be right in Rochester. There's gonna be people looking for jobs in different countries, and I'll show them the video that talks about the different countries that are gonna be moving to Rochester because of mail. So we'll be able to reach them and maybe they'll be your next buyer. So that really does help me there. I also use Moxie Present for my listing presentation, and I think people really like it. And recently, Drew and I have developed a form that we send to new listings. It's a questionnaire about their house, about them, about what they're looking for next. So we get it all there, and we both got the feedback that really makes us stand out and look like number one before we even get to the table. Because it's a doc, they go in, they fill it out online, and it comes right back to us. I had it for my VP list, and we decided to use it for this too.
The videos that you're talking about, you can find those videos through 21 Online. And there's a lot of short, like 30-second short clip videos that you can put on social media that explain why choose a Century 21 agent. So thank you for pointing that out. Didn't you mention something about using the C21 tracker as well? So
yes,
you can
I do. Sorry.
communicate?
I'm all foggy because I was congested. Yes, the C21 tracker, I love it because it shows where everything's going and what's happening. And so my clients are always in the know. And not only am I texting them and emailing them, they're also getting this. And they're like, you're right there. Like, we know what's going on, like every step of the way.
Yeah.
Or if I hear something from their loan officer, I will call them right away, say, have you talked to your loan officer? This is what they came to me, or title company needs this, or we need this doc. This wasn't for some reason didn't go through. Like, we signed that. I'm like, yeah, for some reason it didn't go through. And it really keeps, as long as your clients feel like you're always keeping them in the know and they're not in the dark about anything, they really love that, because I've gotten referrals due to the fact my clients love the tools, love everything I use, and they tell their friends, like, she keeps you in the know. You're not sitting there going, what's going on? Which way do I go now? What is this?
Yeah.
Why is this? I will text them or call them right away before I send them an email saying, this email is just explaining the next steps. So let's go through it together. And I try to go through everything with them. Or if you have questions, let me know. Give me a call. My clients know they can call me.
I think the point that both of you are honing in on is that you have this unique value proposition. You could pick and choose the different C21 tools and products that you want to use, but they are so usable by your clients as well. Like the C21 tracker, clients love to get those little phone notifications from you. Preferred Client Club, that clients like to see the at-home magazine and get that from you. So the value is in how the clients receive and think that, wow, you're providing them things that nobody else is going to be able to provide them, and they
Yep.
like that. Okay, one more question. Final question for you both. What if there was one thing that you could say to anybody that's going to be listening to this? What is the one thing that you want them to walk away with from all of the other things you just brought up and discussed?
I'll go first. I would say don't be afraid to talk to people. Get out there. Don't force real estate to come up in the conversation. It will eventually come up in the conversation. So get out there, get social, engage. Don't be a weirdo. Just have fun. Don't try to be who you're not, because people can tell. I've had some people tell me I could tell how fake this person was. People see that. So just be yourself, have a conversation. They're going to like you or they're not. But usually the ones that like you are usually your clients or ones that become your really good friends. So I love talking to people. That's why I'm still a server 2 nights a week.
That's awesome. And you are a natural at it. Laura, how about you? What's the one thing?
I would have to say take action. So, you can't sit back and not maybe fully understand everything, but you just have to jump in and start where you're comfortable, build off of that. And I offer myself as a resource for you. If it's easier to send me an email or text me and say, hey, Laura, I'm in Express Docs. I want to send out, X. Can you just walk me through what I need to do? And I'd be more than happy to help you with any of those things. That flyer I first told you about was an intro of myself. It wasn't even, it had nothing to do with another listing. So if you've just come over to Century 21 or you've never sent out your bio, I would make that step one. Let's get that done.
I'm trying to just pull up that quick little.
And do it every time you go to a new area too.
Yep.
Well, I think it's great that you just said to take action, be yourself and take action. Like all of the things that you guys have and that you're using, there's so much automation there. However, you have to start them. You've got to start using them to make them work for you. You have to pick something to make it work for you, put it in place, get it set up. Like Shanda, right now, you're very committed to social media and doing those videos. You have a routine, you're making it work for you. And Laura, your community events and the way that you use your sphere of influence and keep growing that, you're making it work for you. So just take some action. This is what Laura was talking about, her mailer that she did. Sorry, I can't turn my screen, but I think this was a postcard where she just announced herself to a specific areas that she chose through Express Docs and did this mailer. And so there's just so much that you can do and leverage, and having that mix, which you both articulated so well. It wasn't just one thing. It's a mix of a few different things. And because you're doing a few different things and have this marketing strategy, it's working for you. And I am thrilled that it is working for you. Anybody have any questions for Laura or Shanda? All right. Well, thank you all for your time. I'll send out an email with this recording when it's all done. Please share it with anybody in your office that you think it would benefit. And you can always email them if you have other questions about how they're doing it, what they're doing, how they're activating.
Mhm.
Yep, I'm happy to answer anything.
Awesome. Thank you both so much. Thanks everybody for joining. We'll see you soon.
Thanks,
you.
bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.